If you have to love the truth just to know if it is true, wouldn't you love to know if the essence of a thing begs to hear your tender wooing? Wouldn't you love to know?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Steve Bell Live from the Vault, episode 5. This is our 5th attempt at doing live concerts for you on the internet. Just right off the bat, just let me say, we're getting our techniques down and our technology down. If cameras go black for a minute, just keep watching. As long as there's sound, the cameras will come back. So, and we've got some stuff coming. We can fix all this, and this is going to get better as we go. It's lovely to do this for you. I'm very happy we can. I sure wish I could see you, but I can't. I can imagine a lot of your faces. I know from the comments that we get that a lot of the people that watch are folks I know and love, and so I'm really happy to be doing this. Wave to Dave Zaglinski, my manager out there doing sound. He's there. Can you see him? They're saying we should get Dave a mic and then we can talk back like a talk show host and the musician kind of thing, but like Stephen Colbert and John Baptiste, and pretend we're in different cities and stuff, but it's kind of unnecessary. So we'll continue. Also, I just want to say hi to some of the kids that I know are watching. I know my granddaughter Nora is watching. Hi, Nora. Wave to Pop-Up. And I know Reagan and Avi and Finn are watching. Hi. And maybe Pax and Luca and maybe Kieran and Charlie. I should probably get a romper room mirror for this. But again, I'm thrilled if kids watch. It's just lovely. I'm glad when kids like my music. It's a kind of a cool thing. Okay, I have a couple of goals here. Other than, I hope everything works. I'm trying to. I hope I can get through this one without crying. The last two of these episodes, I had moments. So this is my. I'm gonna do my best for you. I bind unto myself today the gift to call on the Trinity, the saving faith where I can say, come 3 in 1, oh 1 in 3, be above me as high as the noonday sun, be below me the rock I set my feet upon, be beside me the wind on my left and right, be behind me, or circle me with your truth and light. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. I bind unto myself today the love of angels and seraphim, the prayers and prophecies of saints, the words and deeds of righteous men, be above me as high as the noonday sun, be below me the rock I set my feet upon, be beside me the wind on my left and right, be behind me, circle me with your truth and light. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. God's ear to hear me, God's hand to guide me, God's strength to uphold me, God's shield to hide me against all powers deceiving, against my own unbelieving, whether near or far. I bind unto myself today the hope to rise from the dust of earth, the songs of nature giving praise to Father, Spirit, living Word, Be above me as high as the noonday sun. Be below me the rock I set my feet upon. Be beside me the wind on my left and right. Be behind me or circle me with your truth and light. La da 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 da. 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 Sing la da 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 da. 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 I bind unto myself today the gift to call on the Trinity. Okay, it's going to be one of those days. You know, the dumb thing about forgetting lyrics is they're in front of me. You can't see them on the camera, so it's just doubly stupid if I get them wrong. But it seems to be the way my brain works or doesn't. If you want seamless productions, you can buy my albums. Okay, that's what a song, eh? That's written by my friend Gail Salmon. Her husband Roy produced an album for me several years ago, and out in Vancouver area, and I stayed at their place for several weeks while I was recording. And Gail, who's a school teacher, is also a beautiful songwriter and singer. And she played me that song one night. It just knocked me out, and I recorded it the next day for the album. So it's called the Lorica. It's from St. Patrick's breastplate. That's where the lyric comes from. It's an ancient prayer attributed to St. Patrick. And it's just one of the greats. It's like every songwriter wants to write that song. Every songwriter hears a song that they like, I wish I would have written that one. And that's one for me, right? So I'm happy to do it. I'm playing my trusty Ryan guitar. I haven't played it yet on any of these. I've had this one for, 25 years. Kevin built this for me. Kevin Ryan, one of the world's great guitar builders. I met him at a concert in Santa Fe years ago, and we went out for dinner afterward and talked with some friends, and I got to know him and his wife Barb, and that developed a relationship, and he ended up making me this guitar. So I've had this one for about 25 years. I've written a lot of songs on it that if you followed my music, you have heard. It's done thousands of concerts. It's a bit of a warhorse. It's a little beaten up. The wood is worn away here, and there's a crack across here, and there's a crack from here all the way there at the top that's been fixed. There's a couple across the back. One time I was in Thunder Bay, and I just finished a sound check. Hi, Thunder Bay. And I went to go to the washroom before we opened the doors for the concert, and I went to put my guitar down and leaned it up against the wall, and it slid over, hit the floor, and I was walking away already, and I heard this crash, and I turned around, and my guitar was lying on the floor with the whole headstock snapped off. We got that picture, Jay? You see that? That's what I saw when I turned around after hearing the crash. And my first response was almost a throw up. I was just so, because I love the guitar so much. And there's no two guitars the same. You can never build the same guitar twice because the woods are different, and there's just so many variables. And I thought I had lost it. Fortunately for me, that night, there was somebody that knew a guy in Thunder Bay that collected guitars, and that guy showed up with about 5 different vintage, old, gorgeous guitars. So I had a good one to play. But I brought it back to Winnipeg, and my buddy, the guitar whisperer, Bruce Jacobs, put the head back on. So it still works. When I picked it up this week, and I started just considering how beautiful a guitar it was, I thought I wanted to play it for you and just kind of show you what a good instrument can sound like and the kind of music it can do. So I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm going to try to do something pretty. A hymn that you might know. You can sing along or you can just listen, because we don't need the lyrics. The guitar talks. One more verse. Sing it. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Okay, I almost teared up on that one. I was that close to going over the edge. What a song, eh? What a beautiful guitar. Thank you, Kevin. Just kind of a thank you to all the instrument makers out there, that so folks like me can do my work. And it really is an act of love when folks learn to craft this well, right? And enables something that wouldn't be possible otherwise. And so I think one of the things about the coronavirus, what it's doing to us is we realize how profoundly connected we are in a negative way. But it can help us to think also how profoundly connected we are then in a positive way. The fact that somebody a very long time ago selected some wood and planed it and crafted it into an instrument and gave it to a guitar player and a singer-songwriter, and then years and years later, we're all gathered here through technology to make this event happen. And we start to realize that this isn't by accident. We are profoundly connected. Not only negative ways in the sense that viruses can infect us globally, but so can love, so can beauty, right? Melody, song, poetry, craft, all these things. And to start to pay attention to those things and to be deeply grateful for them, I think is hopefully one of the gifts of this current crisis that it'll give us if we want to take away a good thing. That'd certainly be one of them. And we're about to come up on Trinity Sunday in the church calendar, and I think that's all connected. When we celebrate God, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, the Trinity, the triune nature of God, which is the Christian instinct of the who-ness of God, that God isn't a lonely monad deity, but that God is a communion, that God is a fellowship of mutually self-donating love, and we've been made in the image of that God, right? And that's where our deep interconnectedness, not only with each other, but with all of creation, the ton cosmon, that God so loved. For God so loved ton cosmon, the cosmos, that he gave his only son. It could be one of the gifts of this to recover some of that understanding. Okay, let me do this one for you. This is my friend Byron wrote this with his friend Brian. Byron O'Donnell wrote this with Brian Wakelin. Brian Wakelin I've only met briefly. He came to a concert once, but Byron I know dearly. I played in bands with him years ago in the nightclubs for quite a long time. I was his side guy and proud to be. He's a brilliant songwriter and brilliant man, extremely funny. And I loved those years. Me and Larry Campbell and a few others spent a long time with Byron in the clubs. Byron and I and Larry Campbell, another friend of mine, we actually had a writing studio for songwriting. We rented a suite for close to a year. Years ago, and we'd kind of go every day, and we each had our own room, and we'd write songs, and we wouldn't engage with each other unless we were asking for help on songs. We called it the Hit Pit. As far as I know, no hits were written in the hit pit, but a lot of songs, a lot of good songs. About 40% of everything you've ever heard from me was kind of written in that time too. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, maybe not quite that much, but a lot of songs. And anyways, I don't see Byron that much anymore. He lives far away now. He's recently just come through a terrible health scare, and we thought we'd lost him. But thank God we didn't. And Byron, I love you, and thank you for the music and all I've learned through you about songwriting and life and joy and friendship and loyalty and all those sorts of things. So I'm hoping and praying you're getting better. So this is one I've recorded. This it's called "He Will Know," and it's up here. When your heart is in despair, He will know. When you feel beyond repair, He will know. He will know. He will know. When your day is filled with tears, He will hear. When your night is filled with fear, He is near. He is near. He is near. When this world leaves you behind, He will know. When it all seems so unkind, He will know. He will know. He will know. Great song, eh? I love that one. Okay, this one came to mind the other day. It's actually one I wrote for my dad several years ago. What key is that? Okay, I think this is the right key. Okay. My dad passed away last summer from a cancer. But it was his second cancer. He had one several years before that almost took him. And I wrote this in what we thought back then were his last days for my dad. It was inspired by a poem by Robert Louis Stevenson that N.T. Wright added a verse to, and then I added a couple of my own to make the song, to play it for my dad. And it was right when we thought he had just maybe a couple months left. And I was really hoping I could play it for him in concert. And just before Christmas that year, he came to this concert. His friends had to literally carry him in and out of the room. His health he was so frail. And I was able to sing the song for him. It was very moving. And then at the end of the concert, they took him out. And I figured for sure that would be his last concert. That would be the last time I could sing for my dad. So really moving and significant for me. And then just after Christmas, my dad started getting better. And his symptoms started going away, and he started regaining health and mobility and strength, and it was odd. And so he went back to the doctor, and the doctor ran a bunch of tests, and he said, "I don't know what to tell you, Mr. Bell, but you don't have it." the disease is gone, the cancer is gone, it's just gone. And it was like, what? And the dad said, do you mean I'm not going to die? And the doctor said, oh, you're going to die, but maybe not from this. And Dad got a couple more years. It was just such a surprise. And I remember when Dad phoned me to tell me, Steve, my illness is gone. I was in shock, but I said, but Dad, I got the song. Like you got to go now. I wrote the song, right? So a little bit of joke, but it was lovely then to sing it from my dad in a sort of in kind of a resurrection time. I got to sing it for him again from the standpoint of him being healed and getting more time. So it kind of works on both sides, right? As a sort of a preparation and as a celebration of new life. And of course, we're in that season now in Easter when we're trying to grasp this concept of the resurrection of Christ, that sort of the big bang of new creation, that all things are going to be restored and renewed in Christ. My buddy Malcolm Geit did a sermon on Colossians, that this all things. He says, you can't get really more inclusive than all things. And I thought it was great. I love that. You can't get more inclusive than all things. And this is a mystery. We don't really understand it, but you can sometimes feel it. You can feel the possibility of God's redeeming love in relationships, sometimes in healings, sometimes in art and beauty and moments together in love, sometimes in sorrows too. So it's there. So I'll sing you the song. Again, the first stanza, first two come from an ancient poem by, well, not ancient, but old, several hundred years, Robert Louis Stevenson. I wrote the next two, and N.T. Wright wrote the last one. So this is a collaboration across time and across continents to make a song. Let beauty awake in the morn from beautiful dreams. Let beauty awake from rest. Let beauty awake for beauty's sake, in the hour when the birds awake in the break and the stars are yet bright in the west. Let beauty awake from rest. Let beauty awake in the eve from the slumber of day. Awake in the crimson eve, in the day's dusk end, when the shades ascend. Let awake to the kiss of a tender friend, to render again and receive. Let beauty awake in the eve, while we, the gardeners of creation blessed, furrow the soil at our Savior's behest, and bury the seeds of our own life's death, and suffer God's glory to grow. Yes, we, the priests of all that is made, gather the greatness of creation's praise, that burgeoning freshness of glory displayed from the depths of the earth below. Let beauty awake in the morn from the cool of the grave. Let beauty awake from death. Let beauty awake for Jesus' sake, in the hours when the angels their silence break, and the garden is bright with his breath. Let beauty awake from death, when the garden is bright with his breath. Let beauty awake from death. I like singing that one. Okay, I'm going to do one more for you, and then we'll show you a little brief film. Before that, let me just go through a few announcements. I assume we'll be back next Friday. All the previous concerts we've done are up on YouTube, so if you can go to Steve Bell YouTube channel, you can see that. And there's a playlist live from the vault. That's there. These things come free. If you want to help me out, though, we could sure use help keeping this shindig going. And so we have become almost entirely now with the we lost CD sales years ago to the new way people access music, but we always had concert revenues, and that's now gone. So I'm entirely reliant now on donations to keep the bills paid. So there's a couple ways you can help. You can donate for a tax receipt at stevebell.com/support. Anything over $20, and we can send you a tax receipt. Another way we just set up yesterday, so I hope this works, but I think it's cool. I saw this online. My friend Samantha told me about this. It's called buymeacoffee.com. So if you go to buymeacoffee.com/Steve Bell Music, all those three words together, buymeacoffee.com/Steve Bell Music. There's a little button there, and you can buy me a coffee for $3, through PayPal or your MasterCard. You can sort of choose how you do it. And so it's just kind of a way of throwing something in the tip jar or the offering plate. But please don't despise a little thing like that. I actually looked at how many people have watched these videos on YouTube in the last month. And if half the people bought me a $3 coffee, I'd pay for the full month's all my bills. Rent, salaries, everything. So a little bit goes a long way. So that's there for you. Any other announcements? I think that's kind of it, eh? Okay, I'll do, since I did the song for my dad, I'll do one for my mom. What key is this in? I think that's it. Okay, that's it. I wrote this for my mom years ago, right when she was becoming a senior, and she was having trouble with her adjustment of becoming a senior citizen, and so I wrote this for her back then. The odd thing is I'm quite now close to the age she was at when I wrote it for her, so I'm now using it for my own preparation. And of course, we know this, how beautiful the season is of being a senior and elder, and I know it more deeply now than I've ever known that before. And so there's something in me that longs for that. That each stage that we've been given to live is blessed and has a gift to offer us, that God doesn't abandon any stage. God hasn't abandoned the infancy stage or pregnancy stage. God hasn't abandoned the childhood or the teenage or the young adult, middle adult. God has not abandoned the elderly. Clearly not. And not only is God not abandoned, but God has impregnated that season with gift. And for us that kind of learn to attend to that, in others, in our parents and friends and neighbors, but also as we advance in ourselves to say, what is the gift here for others? What do I have in this season to offer as gift and grace to the neighborhood, to creation? And we can start to learn to attend to these different seasons and love them and cherish them, right? So I think it's great. I wrote this, it's from Psalm 92. I discovered this psalm. There's a line in there that says, fresh and green we will remain, bearing fruit to a ripe old age. And I thought, oh, goodness, there's got to be a song for my mom in there. And I phoned her and I told her about it. And she thought that was awesome. And before she even heard it, she was bragging to her friends about it. And so they looked it up in Psalm 92, except for they had a King James version, which is a slightly different version. And in that version, it doesn't say fresh and green we will remain. It says fat and flourishing. So I got a call from my mom who was just a little pissed. I thought I did that on purpose, which I didn't, but it is funny. You got to admit. So anyway, but another thing, I'm going to play the song for his closing. I'll be back next week, so come and see me. This, of course, goes up on YouTube within moments of us being finished on Facebook, so you can go visit that. But I just wanted to show you something. My friend Tim Huff, who's an artist and an animator, writes children's books. He's been putting online these downloadable coloring pages, thanking essential and frontline workers. So you can download these, and I saw this one, and I had to do it. It's thanking nursing home staff and long-term care workers. And I went to his site at amisafe.com/ his site at the Compassion series, just, is it on there? Okay, you can read compassionseries.com/ Am I Safe? And there are about 20 different coloring pages thanking different kinds of workers, from doctors to scientists to garbage collectors to grocery workers, everything. And you can download them and you can color them, or your kids might want to. But I tell you what, I colored one. And it was quite healing for me. I can't see my mom, and it's hard for me to not be able to do anything. Mom's in a care home, and all I can do is wave to her from a window or call. And there was something just very therapeutic for me in downloading and getting out crayons or coloring markers and coloring something. I felt it was I could do something anyway. And it brought back all kinds of memories about being a kid and coloring something and then putting it up on my mom's fridge, and she would brag to her friends about what I had done. And I can't put this on my mom's fridge, but I did go tape it to the door at the nursing home. And then I waved at my mom from the window from outside. So I'm going to sing you this little song that I wrote for my mom. But stick around, because then we shot a little video of the whole coloring thing and putting it up on our care home, and then waving at my mom, which you can do with me. So that'll be it for this week, and I'll be back next week with some more songs. Oh, one more thing. Lots of folks have been emailing me and asking me if they can use my music on their online worship services for churches, or small groups, or Bible studies, or like different various things. And the answer is yes. Okay, so just a blanket yes. You may use my music for that. You don't really need to ask. We're happy if you can do that. And to the point that I've actually started creating little single song videos, either performance videos like this, or lyric videos just with the lyrics on them. And you can embed them if you're a church pastor or worship leader or a small group leader or a study leader, and you're doing things online. You can embed them and use them as you wish. So we created a page on my website called The Vault, and we're opening. Oh, sorry. No, this is The Vault. Gosh, my brain is not working this week. Oh, God. Okay. It's called The Storehouse, not The Vault. And we're opening up The Storehouse. And so you can just kind of go stevebell.com/storehouse. Is that right? And you can find us. And there's a bunch of songs there that you can kind of use. Okay, I think that's it. This is from Psalm 92. It's called Fresh and Green. Fresh and green we will remain, bearing fruit to a ripe old age, happy to tell about your name, a blessed endeavor. The righteous flourish like the palm and grow like the cedars of Lebanon, planted in the courts of God forever and ever. The senseless person doesn't know the wonders of your glory, and yet their hoppers overflow, but they don't understand that folly springs up like the grass and spreads throughout these vast lands. But harvesting will come to pass when everything is shown, everything will be exposed. Fresh and green we will remain, bearing fruit to a ripe old age, happy to tell about your name, a blessed endeavor. The righteous flourish like the palm and grow like the cedars of Lebanon, planted in the courts of God forever and ever. It is so good to sing to you at the first sight of the morning, and at night your faithfulness review before I close my eyes. But sometimes in the dimming light I stumble on your glory, that overwhelming sudden fright, but not the daunting kind. It's so hard to describe. Fresh and green we will remain, bearing fruit to a ripe old age, happy to tell about your name, a blessed endeavor. The righteous flourish like the palm and grow like the cedars of Lebanon, planted in the courts of God forever and ever. Planted in the courts of God forever and ever. God bless you. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Hi everybody, we're at my mom's place, and I went to my friend Tim Huff's website. It's called compassionseries.com/am I safe. He is a children's animator and author, and he's put up these downloadable coloring pages for frontline workers, and I downloaded one for the can you see it? Nursing home staff, long-term care workers. These are the people that are taking care of my mom when I can't. So I just want to say thanks. So I colored it. I'm just putting it on here, and stick with me because we're going to go wave at my mom. Okay, they're expecting. There, they should see that. Okay, follow me. My pants up. Oh, I got something from my mom. Hold on. Can you see her?